Hey guys! Welcome to our channel.
Thanks for watching.
Where we upload as consistently as we try to. And we have the update that's long overdue for our last True Off Our Chest. I'm going to dive right into that, right? Number three, the final update, updated last month, October, so very recently updated as to what happened, where they stand. We always live react, just a heads up, so we have not read this beforehand. I left. If that's all you wanted to know, there it is. For those of you who asking how the other woman died, I get it. I invited you into my business. It was an amniotic fluid embolism. I don't know much about those, but I guess when they happen, things go wrong really, really fast.
I heard about those.
We lived in a more rural area, so they just weren't ready for something like that to happen. I didn't leave right away, as I know now that I should have. It just wasn't that easy. I stayed for 2 months. I knew if I did not at least try to make it work, I would not be able to live with it. Not because I wanted to save my marriage, but because what ifs kept me up at night enough as it is. I went to marriage counseling with my husband, but it was ultimately fruitless. Of course, it was Christian counseling. I felt like their goal was for me to forgive him rather than actually trying to help me. I was so utterly alone during that time. My parents and brother are also very religious, so even though they weren't happy with my husband, they kept urging me to do what a good Christian wife would do.
Just forget it.
I spent so much time suffering in my head that I began to realize that I was going through the motions, doing what I thought people expected of me. I entered a state of derealization for a time, and that was an absolute mind. The feeling of nothing being real, not even myself, was horrible. During this time, my husband brought his baby home. While he tried to split the cares 50-50 at first, he ultimately didn't trust me to look after the baby because I was lost in space. So he ended up being the primary provider. When I was with the baby, all I could think about was how its existence ruined my life. It'd look at me with big blue eyes, and I would just wish it would disappear. I would actively spend time resenting a baby. There was a time when I was thinking to myself, I wished it would stop breathing.
She went to a dark place.
She really did. That was when I knew I needed to leave. I was blaming a baby and wishing ill upon it. That was not okay to do. I don't remember much about this time besides that. It's mostly a blur otherwise. I sought services through my work to talk to a therapist, and I eventually came back to earth.
Depressed.
So depressed. She helped me make a plan. At no point did I fear my husband. I truly believe the slap was a one-off event. However, screw him, he doesn't deserve closure. On a night, because he had a long Bible study, he always took his baby with him because he didn't trust me. I packed my essentials and dipped. I met him pretty quickly after college, so I did not have much to take as far as furnishings. I fit everything I wanted into 3 suitcases and 4 moving boxes. It all fit into my SUV after some mediocre Tetris skills. I was able to change my phone number online before I left, but I did leave the divorce papers under his pillow with my lawyer's contact info. Kind of like the Tooth Fairy, but for a-holes. I was the breadwinner. In my state, we were not married long enough for me to pay spousal maintenance.
Dang, right.
At least that is what my lawyer said. I owned my own vehicle outright. We had our own bank accounts and shared expenses account. We filed taxes separately, and the church owns the house. He's being an ass about it all, but I'm hoping it should be done soon. I got a decent apartment in a city a few hundred miles away. I've never lived in a city this big before. Everything is so expensive, but besides that, I like it. I found a new therapist, met some new friends, and found a new church with loving people. I still have my days, but for the most part, I'm content. I think it will always hurt on some level, but I'm working on taking my power back. I turn 30 next month, and I'm hopeful that it will be the start of my best decade yet.
Wow.
This felt like a book.
That was rough, man.
I feel like there's grace and there's a fine line between being a quote-unquote good Christian and like also being respectful to your own self.
think that's the modern way. We always had the thinking that back in the day they should just stay.
They would just stay throughout it. We would see unhappy couples live through decades of misery with each other, just say it was okay, you know, and put up with like all these awful treatments, and that's not real. Like, that's not realistic. Tell us kind of what you think in the comments, because I'm like, I don't think that God meant for that to be. We have free will. We really do. Like,
It's a happy ending though.
it is. I think she chose herself. I think that she made the right choice, and you know, better or for worse, that doesn't always mean for that type of worse. He hit her. He had a baby with somebody in the church. He was dating in the church like Christian men.
That was horrible. Tell us what you guys think. Bye.